decades, the U.S. military has been at the forefront of aerospace innovation, constantly pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. With advanced technology evolving at breakneck speed, whispers of revolutionary aircraft have sparked intrigue and speculation. What if the military has been secretly developing a fighter jet so advanced that it defies the very laws of physics? What groundbreaking capabilities could this aircraft possess? Join us on an exciting adventure as we uncover the mysteries behind some of the U.S. military's top-secret fighter jets. The invention of machines that allowed humans to fly changed the world forever. When the Wright brothers made their historic flight in 1903, it was an astonishing achievement, but no one could have predicted just how far-reaching its impact would be. In less than a decade, aircraft evolved from a novel curiosity to a critical tool in warfare, sparking one of the most intense periods of innovation in history. By the time World War I broke out in 1914, military strategists quickly recognized the value of flight for reconnaissance and surveillance. The first aircraft were used primarily to observe enemy movements and gather intelligence, but it wasn't long before they were fitted with machine guns and bombs, turning them into offensive weapons. The introduction of fighter planes led to aerial dogfights, and the race to build faster, more agile aircraft had begun. Nations saw the potential of air superiority as a decisive factor in winning battles and ultimately wars. Aircraft designers were constantly innovating, trying to build planes that could outmaneuver and outgun the enemy. Pilots became aces, hailed as heroes, while engineers pushed the boundaries of aviation technology. The conflict marked the first time in history that aerial combat played a significant role in warfare, and it was clear that the future of military strategy would involve control of the skies. The interwar years saw rapid advancements in aviation technology. Airplanes became faster, more reliable, and capable of flying longer distances. Nations invested heavily in developing bombers and fighters, knowing that the next major conflict would see even more intense aerial combat. By the time World War II erupted in 1939, aircraft had become central to military operations. The skies over Europe and the Pacific became battlefields, with bombers like the B-17 Flying Fortress and fighters like the Spitfire and Messerschmitt battling for dominance. World War II transformed aviation. Bombing campaigns devastated cities, and air superiority became a critical component of both offense and defense. The Battle of Britain, fought entirely in the air, was a pivotal moment, demonstrating the importance of defending a nation's skies. Aircraft carriers emerged as the backbone of naval strategy, allowing planes to extend their reach across oceans. The war pushed aviation technology to new heights, with jet engines making their debut late in the conflict, signaling the next revolution in flight. The relentless pursuit of faster, higher, and more powerful aircraft continued throughout the war. Engineers sought to build planes that could evade detection, fly at incredible altitudes, and carry heavier payloads. The development of long-range bombers, like the B-29 Superfortress, allowed nations to strike deep into enemy territory, forever altering the nature of warfare. As World War II drew to a close, it was clear that aviation had become one of the most critical fields of technological innovation. The race to fly faster, higher, and more stealthily had only just begun, and the lessons learned from these early years of military aviation would lay the groundwork for the next great leaps in flight. During the Cold War, the race for aerial supremacy reached heights few could have imagined. In 1955, the U.S. government, led by the CIA, the Air Force, and defense contractor Lockheed Martin, chose a remote site in the Mojave Desert of southern Nevada for a highly classified project. Located about 120 miles northwest of Las Vegas, just off Nevada's State Highway 375, known as the Extraterrestrial Highway, an unmarked dirt road leads to Groom Lake, or Homey Airport, as it's called on civilian aviation maps. To the casual observer, it's just a vast, empty stretch of desert. But for those in the know, that dirt road leads to one of the most secretive military installations in the world. A base that has gone by many names: Paradise Ranch, Watertown, Dreamland Resort, The Box, but is most famously known as Area 51. The establishment of Area 51 was driven by the pressing need for advanced aircraft technology during the Cold War. In the years leading up to this, the area around Groom Lake had been used for silver and lead mining. But by the mid-1950s, The site had caught the attention of the U.S. government, largely due to its remote location and vast, flat expanse. The Atomic Energy Commission soon added it to the Nevada test site map, labeling it simply as Area 51. What would happen there in the following decades would change the course of aviation history. One of the earliest and most critical projects at Area 51 was the development of the U-2 spy plane. The U-2 was an unprecedented aircraft, designed to fly at altitudes higher than any other plane in existence at the time. Within 8 months of selecting the Groom Lake site, engineers had successfully developed the U-2, which could soar to 70,000 feet, well above the range of Soviet radar and anti-aircraft missiles. This high-altitude capability allowed U.S. pilots to fly reconnaissance missions deep into Soviet airspace, gathering vital intelligence without being detected, at least initially. The U-2 program marked a new era in surveillance, giving the U.S. a critical edge during the early years of the Cold War. However, the U-2's advantage didn't last forever. In 1960, a U-2 piloted by Francis Gary Powers was shot down by a Soviet missile, exposing the U.S.'s surveillance operations and heightening tensions between the superpowers. It became clear that a new aircraft was needed, one that could fly even higher and faster, minimizing the chances of detection or interception. The CIA and Lockheed Martin began working on the next generation of spy planes, the A-12, a supersonic aircraft made from titanium, a material chosen for its ability to withstand the extreme heat generated by flying at high speeds. The development of the A-12 was a direct response to the vulnerabilities exposed by the U-2 incident. Lockheed's Skunk Works division, which had also developed the U-2, was tasked with creating a plane that could fly faster and higher than anything that had come before. Lockheed's team went through 12 design iterations before finalizing the A-12. In January 1960, the CIA ordered 12 A-12 aircraft, and by February 1962, the first A-12 was transported to Groom Lake for testing. The plane made its official first flight on April 30, 1962, though its initial flight days earlier had been plagued by technical issues. The A-12 was a marvel of engineering, capable of flying at speeds of over 2,200 miles per hour, more than 3 times the speed of sound, and reaching altitudes of 90,000 feet. From such heights, the A-12's advanced cameras could capture images of objects as small as 1 foot in length on the ground below. The plane was virtually undetectable by radar, making it an ideal tool for intelligence gathering during a time when U.S.-Soviet relations were at their most strained. Despite the A-12's impressive capabilities, its role as a high-altitude, high-speed spy plane was soon overshadowed by political and practical considerations. After the U-2 incident, the U.S. had signed an agreement with the Soviet Union not to fly manned reconnaissance missions over each other's territory, rendering the A-12's primary mission obsolete before it had even fully come into service. The Air Force, realizing this limitation, began to push for a new version of the aircraft that could perform similar tasks without violating the agreement. This led to the development of the SR-71 Blackbird, a slightly larger, more advanced version of the A-12, designed to gather peripheral intelligence without directly entering enemy airspace. In June 1962, the SR-71 project received approval from the Air Force, and its development proceeded rapidly. By 1964, the first SR-71 was delivered to the Groom Lake test facility, and in 1966, the Air Force decided to phase out the A-12 program altogether, citing the high cost of maintaining 2 similar aircraft programs simultaneously. The last A-12 was delivered in 1964, and in 1967, the A-12 and SR-71 were put to the test in a head-to-head reconnaissance fly-off. While the SR-71 was ultimately chosen to continue in service, many still believe that the A-12 was the superior aircraft in terms of performance. The A-12 did see combat during its brief operational history. In May 1967, A-12s were deployed to Kadena Air Base in Okinawa, Japan, where they were used in reconnaissance missions over North Vietnam. The A-12's first combat mission, flown in May 1967, lasted just over 3 hours, during which the aircraft gathered valuable intelligence on North Vietnamese defenses. However, by 1968, the A-12 program was officially terminated, and the remaining planes were put into storage. The SR-71 took over the role of America's premier spy plane, flying its first operational mission in March 1968. Although the A-12's operational life was short, its legacy is long-lasting. The aircraft represented the pinnacle of Cold War aviation technology and set the stage for the development of future high-speed reconnaissance planes. By 1968, Lockheed was ordered to destroy all tooling used to create the Blackbirds, and the remaining A-12s were mothballed until they were eventually sent to museums, where they stand as a testament to a time when the race for aerial supremacy was a matter of national security. On July 28, 1976, the SR-71 Blackbird set a world speed record that still stands today. Pilots flew the aircraft at an incredible speed of Mach 3.3, which translates to 2,193 miles per hour. To put that into perspective, it was faster than a speeding rifle bullet, covering 400 feet every second. Designed for reconnaissance, the SR-71 was a marvel of Cold War engineering, built to fly higher and faster than any aircraft of its time, avoiding enemy missiles with pure speed. The Blackbird's titanium construction allowed it to withstand the extreme temperatures generated at such high velocities. During its operational years, it was virtually untouchable by adversaries, outpacing missile threats while gathering vital intelligence. In 1990, after a career spanning more than 2 decades, the SR-71 was retired, leaving behind an unmatched legacy in aviation history. Despite newer advancements in aviation, no aircraft has surpassed its speed, and it remains an iconic symbol of American ingenuity. Its contribution to reconnaissance and its technological feats have secured its place in the annals of aviation greatness. For decades, the aviation community has been buzzing with rumors of secret military projects, leading to countless theories about top-secret aircraft. One of the most intriguing among these is the TR-3B Black Manta, a mysterious triangular aircraft that has captivated the imaginations of UFO enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists. Despite the lack of official confirmation, the TR-3B has become a legendary figure in the world of secretive reconnaissance aircraft. While some dismiss it as science fiction, others believe it could be one of the most advanced aerial vehicles ever created. In many ways, its legend rivals even that of the SR-71 Blackbird, which is renowned for its speed and altitude capabilities. But could it be that the SR-71 Blackbird owed its success, or perhaps its cover story, to an aircraft like the TR-3B? Let's dive into the mystery surrounding the TR-3B, explore sightings of triangular UFOs, and try to determine whether this aircraft is grounded more in fact or fiction. The TR-3B is rumored to have been developed under a black project. Black projects are top-secret military developments, often so secret that the government may not even acknowledge their existence. Many have speculated that the TR-3B uses technology far beyond anything officially known, with claims that it incorporates anti-gravity propulsion or other cutting-edge, physics-defying capabilities. Such ideas have fueled speculation for years, giving rise to stories that blur the line between military aviation and science fiction. Rumors about the TR-3B began swirling as early as the 1980s, and the aircraft were often reported to be hovering or moving slowly at low altitudes, completely silent. It was believed to be a product of top-secret military engineering, potentially incorporating advanced, even alien technology. Some witnesses described seeing multicolored lights on the underside of the objects. One of the most famous early sightings occurred over the Hudson River in New York, where several hundred people reported seeing a V-shaped object flying slowly overhead. The report sparked widespread interest, especially since some of the objects seemed to be tracked directly to local airports. Around the same time, the mysterious triangles were reported in Europe as well. In the fall of 1989, what would become known as the Belgian Wave began, with sightings of triangular UFOs peaking in November of that year. In Belgium, at least 30 groups of witnesses, including police officers, reported seeing a large, flat triangular object with bright red lights beneath it. According to many, the most astonishing thing was the complete absence of sound as the object moved silently across the sky. While skeptics suggested that helicopters could explain these sightings, many found it hard to reconcile the lack of noise with the usual sounds associated with helicopters, leaving the mystery unresolved. Descriptions of the craft bear a striking resemblance to the silhouette of the legendary B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, but with one critical difference. The TR-3B reportedly features a strange spar in the center and lights around its edges. In 1991, journalists from Aviation Week and Popular Mechanics connected the dots between this mysterious craft and the development team behind the B-2 Spirit bomber. They speculated that two versions of the aircraft existed, the TR-3A and the larger TR-3B. The TR-3A, they claimed, was about 42 feet long, 14 feet tall, and had a wingspan of 60 to 65 feet. But the TR-3B was said to be significantly larger, with an astonishing wingspan between 600 and 800 feet, making it 4 times larger than the Boeing B-52 Stratofortress. What made the TR-3B especially intriguing was its rumored coating, a radio-absorbing polymer capable of altering not only its reflectivity, but also its color. This material, combined with the craft's advanced avionics, allowed it to appear on enemy radar as a much smaller object, possibly no bigger than a modern photography drone. It was designed for reconnaissance and stealth, but its true capabilities remain shrouded in mystery. One of the most fascinating aspects of the TR-3B story is its alleged use of alien technology. Some sources suggest that the American military had reverse-engineered technology recovered from a crashed extraterrestrial spacecraft. This reverse engineering effort reportedly led to the development of advanced black projects, including the TR-3A and TR-3B. The TR-3B's propulsion system, in particular, has been the subject of wild speculation. Unlike the TR-3A, which was rumored to use a conventional turbojet engine, the TR-3B was said to be equipped with an anti-gravity engine. This was no ordinary engine. According to the rumors, it involved a ring accelerator or a magnetic field disruptor located at the core of the aircraft. The core supposedly contained mercury-based plasma, kept under immense pressure of 250,000 atmospheres at a temperature of 150 degrees Kelvin. The plasma was then accelerated to 50,000 revolutions per minute, generating a superconducting field that allowed the craft to create an anti-gravity bubble around itself. This anti-gravity field, in turn, reduced the craft's weight by a staggering 90%, enabling it to achieve extraordinary speeds, potentially exceeding Mach 9 or 9 times the speed of sound. Such speeds would make the TR-3B one of the fastest aircraft ever built, if it indeed exists. To many, these descriptions of the TR-3B sound like pure science fiction, reminiscent of the golden age of speculative novels. After all, the concept of an anti-gravity engine seems to defy the known laws of physics. Yet the persistence of sightings, both in Illinois and Texas, and the wealth of circumstantial evidence have fueled belief in the possibility that such a craft exists. Could this be an advanced military reconnaissance aircraft? Or is it something more? The mysterious world of advanced military technology often blurs the lines between science fiction and reality. This is particularly evident in the discussions surrounding the so-called Black Manta project and the possible existence of technologies so groundbreaking that they challenge our understanding of physics and propulsion systems. A key piece of evidence for these secretive developments comes from the U.S. Air Force's work on next-generation propulsion systems, hinted at through patents that may reveal glimpses of their future capabilities. Of course, under the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951, the military has the right to keep many of its patents classified to protect national security. Yet some patents have been made public, and they spark intrigue. One of the most famous patents is from Lockheed Martin, which filed for a containerized cold fusion reactor. This technology, small enough to fit inside an aircraft like the F-16, could revolutionize the world of energy and propulsion. Some observers have even described it as having an extraterrestrial nature due to its almost unthinkable potential. But that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to mysterious military technology. Salvatore Cesar Pais, an American engineer with a background in aerospace technology, has become a notable figure in the discussion about these futuristic inventions. His research, sponsored by NASA and conducted while working for Northrop Grumman, led him to file multiple patents for devices that sound straight out of a sci-fi novel. His most famous patents include a plasma compression fusion device, which was described by Popular Mechanics as a compact fusion reactor, and an electromagnetic field generator aimed at deflecting asteroids. But perhaps his most intriguing patent is for a device that purportedly reduces the inertia of a mass, a claim that, if true, could rewrite the rules of physics as we know them. The inertia reduction device, which is said to engineer the fabric of reality, sounds otherworldly, especially when connected to the mysterious TR-3B. The TR-3B, allegedly capable of reducing its mass by 90% using a mercury plasma-based propulsion system, would be unlike any aircraft publicly known. Some reports claim it was even used during the Gulf War for reconnaissance and laser targeting missions, providing support to F-117 Nighthawk bombers. However, the truth behind the TR-3B remains elusive. Interestingly, while the concepts in these patents sound far-fetched, Pays was awarded a relatively modest $58,000 to test his theories between 2016 and 2019. Ultimately, no working prototypes were ever produced, and the scientific community remains highly skeptical of his claims. Many physicists have dismissed his patents as lacking any real scientific basis, stating that the underlying principles do not align with established physics. What adds to the intrigue is the decision to publicly file patents for such technologies in the first place. If these devices truly had the potential to reshape our reality, why would the military allow any details to be disclosed to the public, even through a patent filing? Some argue that it may be a tactic to confuse potential adversaries by making them question what technology the U.S. military actually possesses. Others speculate that the patents are little more than distractions, designed to lead curious minds down dead-end paths, while the real advancements remain hidden behind the walls of facilities like Area 51. It's no secret that the military has been working on advanced stealth technologies, including adaptive turbofan engines for the next generation of stealth fighters. The U.S. Air Force has reportedly allocated over $5 billion to the development of these new engines, which will power fighters capable of evading radar detection and performing at unprecedented levels. But could there be more to these developments than meets the eye? Some believe that these public efforts to improve fighter jet engines are merely a cover for the real game changer, propulsion systems that defy our current understanding of physics. The secrecy surrounding projects like TR-3B only fuels speculation. The idea that somewhere hidden deep within secret military facilities, there are prototypes of futuristic devices collecting dust while we remain in the dark is a thrilling thought. After all, history has shown us that the military often develops cutting-edge technologies for years, if not decades, before they become known to the public. Could the TR-3B project, with its alleged use of alien technologies, be part of this hidden arsenal? On one hand, the patents of Salvatore Cesar Pais and Lockheed Martin point to revolutionary possibilities in propulsion and energy systems. On the other hand, the skepticism of the scientific community and the lack of public prototypes make it difficult to separate fact from fiction. The U.S. military's history of secrecy only adds to the mystery. In the early 2000s, reports of mysterious sightings in Illinois began to intrigue locals, fueling further rumors of the elusive TR-3B. One of the most mysterious and widely reported events involved the appearance of a large, black, triangle-shaped object that hovered silently over several cities. This wasn't just a fleeting encounter either. The phenomenon spanned years and left many bewildered by what they saw. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, stepped in when these sightings first gained attention. In one particular case, the FAA claimed that people had confused the mysterious black triangle with a blimp from an American advertising company that was operating in the area. But this explanation didn't satisfy everyone, especially as the object was captured on camera multiple times. Its presence was so notable that it was featured in a Discovery Channel special and television series, and it even inspired some musical references. This was no ordinary sighting of an aircraft. There was something different about this triangular object that had people talking for years. From 2004 to 2006, residents of Tinley Park and Oak Forest, two suburban communities in Illinois, witnessed what many believe was the same black triangle. This time, the object was marked by 3 red lights that hovered around the perimeter of its triangular shape. These sightings were widely reported, and the eerie lights left a lasting impression on those who saw them. As people tried to make sense of what they were seeing, the mystery only deepened. In 2008, similar sightings occurred, but this time in Texas. Once again, people reported seeing triangle-shaped objects in the sky, often accompanied by lights. These events garnered national attention, and they were even mentioned in the 2023 Netflix documentary Encounters, which explored unexplained aerial phenomena across the United States. One thing became clear over the years. Whatever this object was, it was persistent, mysterious, and remarkably similar to descriptions of a secretive aircraft known as the TR-3B. As these sightings have shown, the truth is still out there, and the Black Triangle remains one of the most enduring mysteries of our skies. Today, the U.S. Air Force stands as the world's largest and most advanced, with an unmatched lead. While much of the supremacy is thanks to cutting-edge technology, the foundation was laid by the experimental aircraft tested at Area 51. These X-planes were the trailblazers, shaping the future of aviation by pushing the boundaries of possibility. The journey began with the Bell X-1 in 1946, developed by the Air Force and NECA, now NASA. The X-1 made history as the first aircraft to break the sound barrier in level flight. Since then, numerous X-planes have introduced groundbreaking technologies: super maneuverability, stealth, and hypersonic flight, to name a few. The SR-71 nearly reached hypersonic speeds, while the F-117 Nighthawk proved that ultra-stealth was achievable. The rumored TR-3B may represent the pinnacle of these advancements, embodying the ultimate X-plane and hinting at even more incredible possibilities for the future. Could the U.S. military really possess technologies that can manipulate the very fabric of reality? And if so, what does that mean for the future of aerospace engineering, defense, and even humanity's understanding of the universe? Let us know your opinion in the comments below.